So I saw the Deadpool movie and it was bad. Kind of. At first I thought it was bad until I stopped kind of looking at it as like the traditional Marvel movie, but more as a passion project that Ryan Reynolds made for comic book fans and mostly for himself. Having watched it like 3 times now, there's a lot of stuff that I loved and just a lot of stuff that I didn't like so much. So let's get into it. But before that, there will be a lot of spoilers in this video. So to answer the question that you guys have clicked on this video to know, should you go see it or not? Yes, absolutely, go see it. It's a movie that's made for fans. It's not your generic scripted type of Marvel movie. It's more like a team up that's fun and light, and you can go see it with your friends or your family if they're, you know, kind of open-minded. But either way, it'll be a fun hangout to blow off some steam and an amazing movie for everybody and where everybody's gonna laugh. Now, let's start off with the best part of the movie, which was the cameos. Because let's be perfectly honest, this is more cameo than it is movie. At first, I loved the insane amount of cameos because it was fan servicey, especially the reject list of X-Men villains. Chris Evans as the Human Torch, Charles Xavier's evil twin sister, who was freaky as hell, and even the mountain of Deadpool variants, especially the Nice Pool. That guy was fun.
Oh, Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool.
But it got really boring really quick. Like in the 128 minutes of the movie, there was a lot of cameos. It wasn't just 1 or 2, it was, I don't know, I'm still creating the list, but I'm up to like 30. So by the time we got to the cameos that you would have been excited to see if there were small amount or even no cameos whatsoever, like X-23 and Blade and Elektra and Gambit, I was kind of sick of the movie. Now I know it was done out of fan service. I know everybody watched this movie because of the whole Easter eggs and cameos, but still, it felt like it was mushed together. It felt like it was more forced than anything else. But overall, it was still comic booky to a degree. Like, you wouldn't see this amount of characters in any place other than a comic book. So the fact that we got to see it in a movie, and not only was it a movie, it was a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, it was fun. Like, the last time we got to see this amount of characters from a comic book was in Endgames, and we all know how much we love that. Now, let's move on to the fight scenes, because as many cameos as there is an equal amount of fight scenes, and some were epic, just absolutely great, absolutely perfect. But some were not so much. There were a lot of fights, and I mean fights, plural, between Deadpool and Wolverine that I absolutely adored. Because you know the merc with the mouth is going to piss off Wolverine every chance he gets, and Wolverine's gonna bash his head in every single time. There was even a fight that was in a car, and I'm pretty sure everybody loved that fight. But there were fights that were kind of anticlimactic, like the fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. That was a fight I was kind of looking forward to, because it would have paid tribute to the original Wolverine movie. And while it wasn't the best movie, that like the fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth and that whole brother versus brother thing was actually really fun, and I wanted to see something on a bigger and more grander scale than that. Or even the fight at the end of the movie that seemed to be an homage to like the Avengers Assemble scene in the first Avengers movie, or like the Avengers Assemble scene in Endgame. I don't know what it really paid homage to, but it felt forced. But still,
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared about. Not my fucking problem.
fights like the car fight and the Cassandra Nova fight, where she completely destroyed the Human Torch, and afterwards just took on Wolverine and Deadpool, were fun. They were a lot of fun. It's what made me fall in love with the movie. Or when Deadpool just got his ass handed to him by multiple versions of Wolverine in multiple universes. There was even one where he got bashed into a wall by the Hulk. Now, speaking of which, one of the best moments in Deadpool is where he showcased the multiverse through the Wolverine variants. Where we got to see what the multiverse was actually like, and got to see Deadpool just get the stuffing beat out of him over and over again by multiple Wolverines, some tall, some short, some old, some young. There was even one that was crucified on an X on a mountain of bloody skulls, for God's sake.
Not you! We're just going in a different direction.
I mean, this moment was when I actually started to enjoy the movie. And there are a lot of Easter eggs hidden in these scenes, and I will be breaking them down in another video after this, the rest of the hidden Easter eggs. But I'll say this was one of the things that truly made me love the movie, and I was laughing so hard that I almost got kicked out of the cinema. Speaking of laughing, the other third of this movie is jokes. And let's be perfectly honest, whether it was jokes by Deadpool or just the dynamic between Wolverine and Deadpool and them bickering and Logan constantly telling him to shut up, or even just the scenes where you just couldn't help but laugh. This movie honestly had everyone, and I mean everybody in the cinema, laughing their pants off.
It isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
My favorite was when Deadpool was expecting Chris Evans to say Avengers Assemble, and he just went and said Flame On. That one really hit.
Oh my God, he's gonna say it! Say what? Avengers Flame On! Sorry, what now?
And now the thing that bothered me the most, and that was the story itself. From storytelling and writing perspective, Deadpool is arguably the weakest of the 3 Deadpool films. The plot feels stretched out, initially giving us an impression of a disjointed series of fight scenes, jokes, and fan services, as well as cameos, rather than just a coherent narrative. The story boiled down to 2 characters teaming up, trying to save the world. Well, Wade's world. While this is a classic Deadpool fare combining cameos, jokes, and action, and, well, Wolverine, the film's overall story lacks a punch compared to its predecessors. The primary antagonist feels underwhelming and poorly developed. The villain's motivation was awkward and generic. I'm gonna destroy the universe plot kind of thing, which is a tired out trope, and at this point it's just a meme in and of itself. The lack of compelling antagonist makes the film's 128-minute runtime feel bloated and sluggish. The pacing drags, especially around the midpoint, and it suffers from the modern trend of multiple endings. Initially, I felt the film's fan service was excessive and the story fell short, especially compared to the ending of the previous movie. My expectations might have played a role here, but let's be perfectly honest, I kind of expected Deadpool and Wolverine kind of facing off God or some colossal threat in the Marvel universe. But instead, I got a somewhat mundane English antagonist, Charles' sister, who, despite being a chilling character with her mind-controlling abilities and ability to literally put her hands into somebody's head, which was no. But she didn't meet my expectations. She felt more like a crazy person. Like, she went from crazy, I'm born into this crazy void kind of thing, and to Wolverine talking her down, and then, you know what? You screwed with me, I'm just gonna destroy everything and just leave my home the void. Not only one universe, but I'm taking it even farther. They're all going, like, nah, it was weird, it was awkward, I didn't really feel it, you know what I mean? And to add insult to injury, we got a drunk Wolverine who was hated in his original world for a reason. Well, it was grave and all that, but it didn't make any sense to begin with. Like, I get that he left his team to die, but that shouldn't have made him like the worst Wolverine. And Deadpool trying to establish himself as the classical hero, and the film was, story-wise, was a real letdown. However, once I got over that hype and viewed the film more as a team-up / redemption story with Deadpool trying to prove himself as, you know, Marvel's Messiah.
I am Marvel Jesus.
And Wolverine trying to seek redemption for his past actions, I ended up liking the film a lot more. The movie's self-aware humor, its sharp jokes, its numerous Easter eggs provided a lot of enjoyment, especially the cameos, to be honest. And the dynamics between Deadpool and Wolverine felt true to the comics. Their bickering was entertaining as hell, and some of the fight scenes were really well executed. Again, I'm gonna repeat this again, especially the car fight scene. Now, one of the film's biggest strengths was its ability to incorporate a massive amount of fan service and Easter eggs. The humor, while not as biting as the first and second Deadpool film, it still hit the mark often and made the movie a lot more enjoyable than you'd expect. Marvel's willingness to poke fun at itself and acknowledge the recent criticisms adds on a layer of fun for me, especially the fact that it felt more like Ryan Reynolds pushed Marvel to do this. Still, we got to see one of the biggest studios acknowledging its mistakes, and that doesn't happen every day. The movie really isn't about Marvel or Deadpool's place in the MCU. Instead, it feels more like a love letter to the 2000s, when it was a time of experimenting with different superheroes, seeing which one would work, which one wouldn't. It felt like every studio had grand aspirations to become the next big thing, or at least make its superheroes the next big thing. And while many of them crashed and burned, a lot of them were creative and hilarious and fun to watch. And their hard work paved the way to what is now ultimately a successful but less creative take on the genre, you know, like the MCU. Now, the film's cameos did exemplify this attitude, paying tribute to a myriad of movies and interesting characters from a bygone era who never really quite made it. Seeing some of them brought back to action generally put a smile on my face, and I was honestly happy to see some of these characters, and some of them were redeemed along the way. Now, ultimately, while Deadpool and Wolverine can feel like it's a bit bloated, chaotic, and a mess at times, and probably leaning too heavily on the gimmicky premise, it's still light years ahead of anything that Marvel's put out in the last couple of years, and it delivers a lot of funs and laughs that will probably satisfy most viewers and keep them entertained. Now, is it gonna save the MCU? Probably not. But I don't think that's what it aims for. I don't even think that that's what it wants. It's just providing us with a team up that we've desperately wanted to see, that the two actors have desperately wanted to make, and honestly, isn't that what's important? Gave us a fun movie with amazing jokes, jaw-dropping action, and honestly, a lot of Easter eggs to dissect, a lot of cameos that we've been dying to see, like Channing Tatum's Gambit, which I was disappointed, but I was glad I still saw Channing Tatum as Gambit, you know? And it gave us the team-up that we've honestly all been waiting for since the first Deadpool movie. Well, we wanted to see Deadpool and Spider-Man before we saw Deadpool and Wolverine, but still, Deadpool and Wolverine is amazing. So, should you see it? Absolutely. One thing for you guys to keep in mind when you go see the movie, do not think of it as a normal Marvel movie or even as a normal Deadpool movie. Just look at it as a movie made for fans, by fans. Just go enjoy the movie, have fun, enjoy all the amazing action, all the amazing jokes, all the amazing Easter eggs. And even if the cameos do feel a little bit much, you'll still be happy for most of them. And that's it, folks. Now that we're done, go see the movie and tell us your thoughts about the movie in the comments below. Tell me which cameo you guys loved the most. Tell me what your favorite joke was, and don't forget to like, subscribe, because we're trying to get to 1,000 subs. And if I had to say one more thing before I end this video, we're gonna make another video, like I said before, about the Deadpool cameos and Easter eggs. So until next time, go see Deadpool in the cinema. Peace.